We trying to get paid.
Making money, make it, dollar,
We trying to get paid.
making money,
Yeah,
make
you
it.
save and invest, stacking up checks. Let's go.
Change is inevitable, friends. This is one of the many changes we're going to be seeing in the index this decade. After 100 years, Exxon, ticker XOM, is out of the Dow Industrial Average. Just 7 years ago, it was the largest publicly traded company in America, and it's now being replaced by Salesforce, ticker CRM, which, by the way, destroyed earnings, showing huge 20% year-over-year growth in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, that's just amazing. Look at the current price after hours. Ridiculous. Now, this is a big deal. I mean, this is a real changing of the guard. Again, they were in the Dow Industrial Average for 100 years. This used to be one of the biggest companies in the world. Still pays a huge dividend, still got a lot of cash. So, does it represent deep value at the current price? Only time will tell, but is one to keep on a watch list somewhere with the price in mind. I've mentioned it before that technology is naturally deflationary, right? Efficiency is deflationary to pricing, unless you have pricing power, aka you're a monopoly. And maybe that's where we're going as a country. You'll have 10 or 12 companies that provide all your services, and they're all monopolies in their line of businesses. Why? Because if we agree that efficiency is deflationary to pricing, we also have to agree that it eliminates competition. A perfect example of this over the last 50 years is Walmart, ticker WMT. When Walmart moved to a town, right, it was game over. I mean, you could pull up articles where people were protesting the opening of a Walmart simply because it would destroy local businesses in town. If you're over 30, then you remember up until about 2010, Walmart was an evil company. I mean, they were the big blue evil guys. Now, everybody still hates the Walton family. That's not going to change. But a new fighter enters the arena, and that's Amazon, who, along with Google today, held up the cues very nicely, by the way. So let me end my monologue by saying this. Amazon has killed thousands of publicly traded and private companies. But so far, Walmart has survived, if not thrived in a certain sense. They cannot, though, live in the same world. All right? We're not talking about Wawa and 7-Eleven here. We're talking about two giants in a collision course, and one will eventually destroy the other. This is going to be a very exciting thing to see, folks, and it should happen this decade. Let's put that to the side for now. Gains across the board in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Some of you made some great calls in price action regarding the FANG that a pullback is necessary. I agree with you to a certain extent. No doubt we are extended on the daily as well as some of those weekly charts. I wouldn't call today a pullback because Apple hit 492 on the low, then closed at 499.30. That tells me that there's a lot of late money trying to get in here, and I smell a pullback. Pull up the daily, again, pull up the weekly. Yes, clearly showing we deserve a cool-off period. So that's coming here, and I believe it's developing in a price. After about 5 days of explosive growth, I mean, it's time. It's time. I said yesterday that Facebook is bulletproof, and sure enough, it proved it again today at a new all-time high, nearly 6% gains by mid-afternoon before settling to 280. I mean, you got another day or two there, but I mean, there's going to eventually be some serious profit taking in Facebook. But right now, I mean, if you're a small business, where else can you go? I mean, where else can you go? Even if you have, a website on WordPress or Shopify, I mean, you're advertising it on Facebook, right? And also on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. There's nowhere else for you to go to maximize your marketing dollars but Facebook. So that's why I mentioned today on Twitter that Facebook is the next, $1 trillion company. It's no doubt in my mind. It's coming. And, you want to talk about a guarantee? I hate giving out guarantees, but that is one that I would consider making, that Facebook would be a $1 trillion company. I have a segment of stocks that I like to call Tech Other Than FANG, And I want to show some love to them right now. Honeywell, ticker HON, needs to be, seriously considered, to be on your watch list. They're doing some very impressive things with smart homes and industrial applications across the world. That's a global growth story that nobody's really paying attention to right now. But, there's a lot of love being shown right now to Honeywell. And if, volume starts really coming into those options, I think they could be very, very enticing to someone. PayPal and Square looking really nice. I'll touch that in a minute. I mentioned earlier the ticker CRM. Blew their numbers away. The company came out today as well and said that staff wouldn't be back in the office until July of 2020. JP Morgan actually said the same thing, that they would move to a schedule where people would come into the office almost 2 days out of the week, if not less. Some positions will go permanently work from home. That sent stocks like Zoom to Pluto. We mentioned Zoom yesterday that it wasn't done, and today this news proved it. But you say, Sal, Zoom is a one-trick pony. Yes, I agree with you for now, right? Microsoft Teams can be a challenger, but it's not there yet. Google Meet platform still isn't taken seriously. So while I agree with the naysayers that Zoom, can't go up forever, they do have time to make a smart acquisition to make things a bit more interesting, but it can't go on forever. Someone in the comments yesterday mentioned a company, Twilio. Nice chart, right? Nice day for them as well. eBay looking very strong here. You're going to be even more impressed on October 27 when those earnings come out. Back in July, I believe July 28th, we saw earnings growth hit over $1 a share, the highest in the company's history. I don't think anything is going to change over the next 3 months. If you love eBay like me, you've already noticed that the stock and the company itself is just hot, hot, hot. The website has just got deals bonanza right now. Jumping back to Square and PayPal, they have probably the most beautiful price charts in finance right now. You would have a hard time finding a more impressive signal on the 10 and 25 moving average strategy. Gorgeous, gorgeous crossovers on both of those trades going back to April. But, the investor's dilemma is real, right? You only have so much capital, to place in the market. And as impressive as these two stocks have been, there have been other stocks with more bang and better liquidity for their options. But still, very, very impressive. And I do see another, leg for them higher. Gold and silver seem stuck here. Government got the USPS deal out of the way, but PPP seems to be in limbo. I'm starting to think the Democrats are just going to hold out until after the elections, and that makes me say put gold and silver onto the shelf until November. Now, if you're smart, you're just going to be loading up anyway, because whether or not it gets done now or after November, we know gold and silver is going to be higher next year, the year after that, and the year after that. That's just what it is. If you've been a gold investor for the last 20, 25 years, you've done very, very, very well. That's the way you got to play these things. You can't be a short-term trader when it comes to the shiny metals. No real follow-through on travel stocks here. I'm not even touching those right now. This is probably one of the very few days where I don't have a signal for the market. If you've been making incredible amounts of money and now you're really looking for a reason to get out. If you are on the sidelines, you're looking for an entry, but you're not being able to get one. Netflix, nice move on Netflix today. I've still got my love for Netflix, so we'll see if we can get some follow through tomorrow. But yeah, everybody hold their positions. That's all you can do right now. Enjoy these gains. Tomorrow is another trading day. Trade well.